to all the audience, and welcome back to the panel discussion on how to create value for innovative ecosystem for economy enhancement. My name is Mishma Stanislaus, and I'm the Chief Global Communication Officer here at GCPIT and CIMSME, and I take pleasure in hosting the rest of the session this evening. And without any further delay, I would like to welcome the panelists for today's session, Mr. Ashish Kare, Ms. Claudia Olmedo, and Ms. Rima Sahani. Thank you for joining us today, and I would like to briefly introduce our panelists before we kickstart the session. Mr. Ashish Kare is an entrepreneur, a certified business coach, a certified life coach, public speaker, and a startup mentor. He comes with more than 25 years of experience in successful business leadership and has led teams and organizations to innovate, build, implement business solutions and products in the field of information technology and services for customers across 20 plus countries. He's a technology leader with end-to-end experience of managing professional services, business, and proficient at determining technical and business requirements, managing project roles, identifying resources requirements, meeting training needs, defining project deliverables, and providing customer satisfaction and ensuring quality of products. Next up, we have Ms. Claudia Olmedo, who comes with 12 plus years of experience in digital innovation, gamification, and interactive technology. She is the co-founder of Monstro Innovation Group, which is a multidisciplinary company dedicated to the creation and application of user-centered innovation and digital transformation strategies. Ms. Claudia is also a co-founder of Pulpo Credit, which is a fintech company focused on the financial inclusion of MSMEs and entrepreneurs. And she is currently the head of exploration in El Salvador at the Accelerator Club of the UNDP, which is United Nations Development Program, which is the world's largest and fastest learning network on the challenges of sustainable development. And last but not the least, we also have with us Ms. Rima Sahani. And Ms. Sahani is working as a project manager for IP and tech transfer at the Innovation Technology Transfer Office in New Delhi. She is a registered patent agent with the Indian Patent Office and has experience of more than 8 years in the domain of intellectual property. And as part of the IP team, she is actively involved in formulating IP strategy for the client's inventions and advisory for many SMEs, startups, and individuals on securing, protecting, and enforcing IP rights in India as well as abroad. So once again, a very warm welcome to all the panelists who have joined us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Mishima. Thank you.
So we're looking forward to a great session ahead. And I would like to kickstart the session by quoting a scientist. He asked, what is the calculus of innovation? The calculus of innovation is really quite simple. Knowledge drives innovation, innovation drives productivity, and productivity drives economic growth. So with this, I would like to start by a small introduction saying that we all know that innovation ecosystems is a very complex process. It starts from the generation of ideas and then to the translation of that into products and then the commercialization of these products into a large scale. But the success of this progression depends on multiple factors such as business culture that rewards entrepreneurship, risk-taking, and the willingness to embrace change. And of course, the regulations and the administrative norms that incentivize the attitude of our entrepreneurs, a strong knowledge generation sector, such as the universities and laboratories and research organizations, and also the collaboration between these organizations. And eventually, after a long, tedious process, the innovation can successfully be steered to practical applications which are valuable to the society and contribute to its economic enhancement. So as I said, it's a very long and tedious process before we know if the innovation can actually contribute to the economic enhancement. And so today, our panelists here today will talk on various factors that influence the same. So without further ado, I would like to direct the first question to Mr. Ashish. And sir, please can you tell us what were the innovation ecosystem related priorities which emerged from the past decade?
Yeah, so in a general terms, if you talk about, yes, the whole last couple of decades have been a lot of priorities which have changed. The only thing what has changed and changing now is majorly is instead of only creating entrepreneurs or businesses, the focus is moving towards creating the businesses. And if that happens, the whole change around the innovation ecosystem will evolve. The focus is not only creating entrepreneurs, but to create businesses around it. As you rightly said, the process is very tedious and it is takes time. And we have seen the research that 40% of the entrepreneurs, when they start within 6 months, they are not able to survive. The focus is has to be towards in the last decade, which has the percentage has to increase of people starting the business, surviving them, growing them, and making it viable to the society and to the economic reforms. And that is what is changing, and that is what the change continuously has to be done. We have achieved very little in terms of when you talk about in real sense, especially in India and other places. I think so. We have a lot of opportunity to take it further from that. Couple of other priorities when you talk about which we are seeing in the change in the government sector, the government taking initiative, the academia is taking initiative in terms of in doing research and involving is entrepreneurship or innovation from a student level itself. Awareness about the patenting, awareness about the intellectual property is increasing, and the reforms are being is happening across the globe. In terms of industry also taking initiative to going closer to academia, and
Mhm.
that is very important. They also have to, though it is very little is done as of now, but I think so these are the things which are changing, and in the future we will see that these things will be more outcomes will start getting from these initiatives which are being taken in the last decade. And if that happens, the gap between government, academia, and industry, as soon as it become more closing bonding in terms of producing the right thing, obviously the innovation ecosystem will flourish, and obviously the accelerators, incubators, they're all part of it actually. So that's how I feel.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. And I will get back to you more on that. And I would now like to ask Ms. Reema to build more on this. It's a very similar question. Ms. Reema, what do you think are the priorities for innovation ecosystems to lead to the transformation of economies? I think she'll be back with us in a minute. Ms. Claudia, can you take that up?
Could you repeat the question, please?
It's what are the priorities of ecosystem to lead to the transformation of economies?
I will speak from the lens of El Salvador's context. As you might know, El Salvador is it's the smallest country in Central America, and a country that faces a lot of development challenges in terms of inequality. And I think the priority for innovation ecosystem is to understand the context of these inequalities that are not only economic but also technological. I think our innovation ecosystem should prioritize in understanding the limitations of a diverse population that faces different contexts. For example, rural connectivity is almost inexistent. There's lack of coverage from MNOs, and people really struggle to access not only to information, but also to the benefits of technology processes and for example, for a small business or micro entrepreneurs. 80% of our economy is, or almost 80% of our economy is informal businesses that are rooted on maybe in the touristic services such as restaurants and other, but also informal market. So lack of connectivity also impacts the benefits of financial inclusion initiatives. So I think inequality should be the first priority of an innovation ecosystem leadership, and then to try to map and leverage those solutions that come from the people, those that we call grassroots innovations, how people go around these challenges that inequality makes them face, and from that try to scale and grow those innovations in terms that even in unequal contexts, people would have similar opportunities.
That's very rightly said, Ms. Claudia. And I think inequality is a completely different ball game altogether when we are talking about innovation ecosystems, and we definitely have to work towards that. So with that, Ms. Rima is back with us. Ms. Rima? Okay, Ms. Rima, you can just try to fix that. And meanwhile, I will go to the next question. So my next question is again to Ms. Claudia. So in the equation where economic development is equal to community development, so how do you think the innovation ecosystem contributes towards maintaining this equation?
That is a really interesting question, and I will address that from the work of our Accelerator lab in El Salvador. Actually, we're having that conversation yesterday, and right now we're focusing on on studying and understanding the correlation between access to quality water, access to water itself, and its impact on economic development and thus community development. We work with communities, and I will put an example. We're working with communities in the coastal area, where in a specific area that there are a lot of informal businesses that are restaurants and give services, formal and informal businesses that give services to tourists. And most of those businesses, if not all of them, are led by women and generations of women that face these challenges, such as lack of access to financial products, and also connectivity, but basically information. And actually, our hypothesis is that when you spend most of your income from your business or of your livelihood on water, then there's little left for business investment or generating other services. One of the characteristics of this area is that most businesses have no value proposition or differentiated value proposition. They all have the same. And so we think that if we address this basic issue, that is access to water and water that can be used for drinking or other basic needs of humans, and then obviously business needs, then people would have means to invest in education, health, and personal development. So if in that sense, if you invest in addressing inequality, then people have more opportunities to think further those basic needs. And obviously, if you have community development, personal development, then the community develops itself, and then there's maybe an opportunity to generate other business ideas or business models that because you don't have to address that basic need. So people would say to us in our last visit that sometimes they cannot offer, for example, the service of a little hotel or hostel, because people, because of lack of access to water, people need to bathe with salty water from the sea. So if that little business could have access to quality water, then they could offer these hostel services, and maybe there will be a business that washes laundry service, and maybe we have other. So you see there how fixing or addressing one basic problem might help community development, but then economic development by offering the opportunity for diversification of services. So that is with an example. Yeah, I think I can communicate that view of mine about that.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Claudia. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think once we have our basic needs, and then we'll be, able to think, further and go to the next step. So I think, Mr. Ashish, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah. So as we see, the economic reforms and contribution by innovation has been hugely, and in terms of all section of societies and all. So when it comes to revival, or when it comes to the transformation of the economies, is very well happening around the ecosystem. Like I always give one example that like electric vehicles and all these kind of businesses which are coming now is coming through innovation, but they were done years and decades back. Now they are actually coming into the reality, and which is changing the economic, which is helping the economy to grow now, right? In terms of using those technologies, like the entire EV system. If you see electric vehicle, entire ecosystem has to be rebuilt in every country. It's a huge opportunity. So innovation, obviously, which was done decades back, is now converting into the businesses, and it is going to change the society. It is going to offer employment. It is going to offer better life to the people, contributing better to the environment and energy. So, is the whole change of economic transformation? If that was the question, I believe. So from that part, that is what I would like to add.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So the next question, I know we had, very a slowdown of the economy, I would say, because of the COVID. So my next question is for the revival of the economy. Ashish sir, can you tell us on what are the priorities we have to look at now, from the point of innovation ecosystem?
Yeah, so I'm saying post-COVID, many of businesses has been the way they have been doing businesses earlier has changed, and many of those businesses either have been, many of them have to forcefully shut down, or they have to find the ways to survive. And if that is something which government or the ecosystem, which is, like I said, always I say ecosystem, like government, academia and industry, put together the effort to revival of them, that is something which is very good idea. Second is for innovation. Like I said, that EV and solar were invented or innovated years back. Now they are converting into businesses. So and when it comes to private sector or a public money, when it goes, they generally don't see a long term investment will come from the government or the long term investor, which thinks about 10 years ahead or 15 years ahead from the time. So there is a need of public money, and there's a need of government money to be invested more on R&D and innovation, and that has to go to all the sectors. So because the innovation happening in academia, industry, and at government level, all. So the money has to flow there, because most of the investors, if they keep thinking about the return which is immediate, may not come with those businesses. The innovation result will give you after 10 years. So if money flows into innovation more, that ecosystem revival economy cycle will automatically will take more speed. That's what I feel. Um, coming to the government sector again. So in innovation, if we talk about a startups ecosystem or any of the innovation R&D system, when we talk about, and I always say that if there are 40% startup are closing it within 6 months or 1 year time, it means that there is a need of more and more seed investments. There is a need of more and more seed investors, and then incentivizing those normal. So like you and me, or many people who are a working professional, how we ensure them to put the money in a startup ecosystem until they get incentivized against it, they will not do that. So there has to be a very innovative structure regarding investment need to be created, and if that happens, an incentivization of normal investors, VC, venture capitalists, or angel investors are in practical on the grounds are incentivized, then obviously the revival of economy and the innovation ecosystem will contribute a lot. However, there are traditional businesses, there are other businesses which are flourishing. Like we said, that pandemic has changed everything. Now there was some established business of travel industry which has just gone off for shut, right? So obviously, innovation has to be feed-died. Imagine if video conferencing and all these solutions would have not been invented, or would have not been taken that kind of shape, which would have taken the world load of video conferencing in this last 6 7 months. So that's how innovation contribute, I would say.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, that last point was definitely, I think, looks like directed towards GCPIT. If not, we wouldn't be sitting here and having this conference right
Absolutely,
now.
absolutely. Anybody.
Yes, right. So, Miss Rima, are you here? Okay, I think we lost her.
He has some connection problem, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, next I would like to ask Ms. Claudia on how does innovation ecosystem and add value to or create a social impact to the society. Ms. Claudia, you're on mute.
Thank you. I think innovation ecosystem have many ways that it provides impact to society, and one of them is, I think, the power of a social network, the power of connecting between diverse actors. And what I think, in that sense, one of the challenges and duties of innovation ecosystem is to find those innovators that are rooted within, that sometimes are invisible, that are maybe not part of that elite of innovation, and I think that's the beauty of it in the time we're living on. It's really important to visualize the solutions that come from people from diverse contexts, and also it brings to the table the opportunity of collaborating and participating into finding new ways to work together. The opportunity we have right now with, as you said, with connectivity of the global economy we're participating on right now, that's been enhanced by this COVID pandemic. It shows us that the power of this global innovation ecosystem is really strong, and that if we could include more people there, more people that sometimes do not participate from these spaces, by enhancing connectivity, access to information, access to spaces in which we're able to share ideas and solutions, then the impact will be broader. And also innovation ecosystems have the because the innovation process itself basis on understanding needs and challenges from the human perspective, or at least it should be, then we are able to find solutions that work in a context and that can be adaptive to other contexts as well. And from the Accelerator Lab perspective, this is how we build an innovation ecosystem, a global innovation ecosystem, by working as a network, by sharing knowledge, not only within our network, but also giving back to the communities. And I think knowledge empowerment is the biggest and most powerful weapon, or at least maybe not, that's not tool, maybe that's the right word. The most powerful tool we have to address the phases we all face right now as humanity.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Claudia. And I would also like to add to that, since you brought up about the Accelerator Program, can you share with us one of the, say a flagship program that you are doing in order to contribute or help the innovation ecosystem?
Well, the actual DNA of our work is to map the solutions within those grassroots innovations from communities. And we'll speak in general terms because each accelerator lab practice is different and face different challenges, but or address different challenges. But I think that the process itself of unearthing these grassroots innovations from communities and learning about how these solutions work, what are the variables that are correlated within a challenge, and then experimenting these solutions in different contexts and see how they perform. And after that, bringing back that knowledge to community, to decision makers, to the UNDP itself. It's how we create change, and actually, it's the power of learning and the power of knowledge. So yeah, and it's linked to what I said before on how innovation ecosystems contribute to the social impact.
Right, great, thank you so much. And I think we have Ms. Rima back.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, Ms. Rima, can you tell us on what do you think are the priorities for innovation ecosystems to lead to economic transformation?
Thank you, Mishma. And sorry, there was a technical glitch, so I joined late.
Yeah,
and we could not take the opportunity to hear everyone. So sorry for that. So coming back to this question, long-lasting economic transformation and the transition to a more sustainable paradigm will only be possible by investing in the right type of products, services, and technologies that will allow our society to build economy and prosperity while safeguarding the interests of the society. Such a paradigm shift requires focused thoughts and patience that must be compatible with the failures, risk, and time windows of research and development. Countries should outline the key priorities of their innovation and industrial strategy and identify the key markets they wish to invest in the sustained long-term economic growth. For each of these key markets, research and innovation should be oriented towards addressing social and environmental challenges to boost economy value. Despite of persistent efforts from governments, businesses, and the public, the potential of many of these markets of tomorrow remains unexplored. We have not yet witnessed the pool of breakthrough innovation, like disruptive innovation, I would say. We are only mapping and creating new sequences out of the genes and DNA that could revolutionize the way we develop the product we use, the food we eat, and the drugs we intake. However, we are yet to witness better deployment of existing and new technologies. Strengthening the capacity of public and private sectors that are responsible for designing and implementing innovation strategy is a prerequisite for a successful transformation. Innovation benefits from engaging interaction of experts with different perspective of or expertise. As such, improving the diversity, equity, and inclusion across the entire innovation chain will be fundamental to broadening the whole idea of research and development. Research institutions, incubators, investors, and all the relevant contributors of the innovation ecosystem should strengthen their policies to provide equal opportunity to women inventors, researchers, entrepreneurs, and similarly address any form of discrimination on the basis of race, religion, disability, and sexual orientation. They should equally experiment with new ways to fill in opportunity gaps across different socio-economic background and contribute to bridge the growing divide between urban and rural area to enhance creativity nationwide. Thank you, Mishma.
It's good to have you back, Ms. Rima, and with the bang, I would say. So, since we lost you for a couple of minutes, I would also, ask you to address the next question as well.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, economic development is equal to community development. So, how do you think innovation ecosystem contributes to this equation or contributes towards maintaining this equation?
Okay. Thank you, Mishma. On regular basis, we are hearing the slogans Creative India, Innovative India, Make in India, and Atmanirbhar Bharat. So, India has been trying to position itself to be a pro-IP, knowledge-driven economy, capable of competing with developed and developing countries. Our Honorable Prime Minister conveyed his motto through a tweet for young scientists in the country has been innovate, patent, produce, and prosper. He is also focused about innovation enhancement in the country because it will ultimate leads to the economic development and which will lead to the community development itself. So these four steps will lead our country towards faster development, I would say. It contribute toward economy development as well. Innovative technologies which come into the market help in improving quality of life and benefiting the society at large. Going forward, all sections within society, they need to work in a cohesive manner for its systemic development, and only then economic development can be an outcome. If they are self-sustained and have an efficient supply chain with very less dependency beyond their society, then they would have very less risk exposure, and thus economically they can develop while creating a good infrastructure and also standard of living. So in short term, economic development, it is equivalent, or I would say synonym to community development itself. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Rima. So my next question is to Mr. Ashish. Sir, how can innovation help in generating alternative income for people at the grassroots level? Sir, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah. So, can you repeat the question?
The question is, how can innovation help in generating alternative income for people at grassroots levels?
Okay. How can innovation help? I'm saying, as I said, any innovation when it goes to a grassroots level, even if you take example, I always give the example of these two systems, like solar system. I've seen in the villages that people are installing on their roof of their houses. I'm saying when the innovation start going into the grassroots level, what happens? The alternate incomes automatically start coming because they get the innovative ways of getting the employment. We after pandemic or during pandemic we started talking about the gig economy. From where it is coming? I'm saying is coming because innovation has provided, maybe just take ed tech companies like education companies or learning companies. India has had a lot of employment issue where industry says that they have opportunities to host people or hire people, but they don't have right skill in the colleges being taught. Now, is simple thing if you talk about, I seen in last 8 months to 9 months a lot of innovation happen in the area that how the industry and academia gap can be reduced. And if you see the small startups are doing what? They are taking these hard skills, teaching them while the student is studying in the college, and then it is bringing to the industry. Now imagine the kind of employability of those person is increasing. So anything which happens in terms of innovative way or invention way in any field, whether it's a edtech or technology or energy or any field, obviously it changes the complete complete layout of the structure. Now these skills have not only gone ahead and created the mainstream employment, but also, as the question says, have created the alternative income as well. Like many of the skills people have acquired during this pandemic when they were sitting at home, and now they are using that skill to create the alternative income. And I've seen that, like for example, teaching to the students or creating the classes, becoming teacher at Byju's or anywhere else in the EdTech system. I mean, just so many things have been explored by people to create the alternative. That's why the world is moving towards gig economy. I was reading one article a couple of weeks ago, which says that the people who are applying for a job, young generation, the applying for a full-time job opportunity percentage is decreasing. I mean, saying they are looking for pay per use kind of a situation, which is gig economy. That okay, I will do this work for you, pay me for this work, and I'm done. I don't want to do the full-time 12-hour job kind of a situation. Or the students are applying for a job which is having the working hours from starting from 3 p.m. to going up to 2 a.m. in the night, or maybe 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. So things are changing. The innovation is changing the alternative, creating the alternative ways of income. I am very giving the hardcore simple example which I see around us, which is happening every day. I was talking to as Mentor Card is into the mentorship, and we do mentoring for a lot of startups, a lot of other people, and these innovative ideas are actually creating the kind of things which are completely alternate. Nobody has thought about generating income out of such ideas. I mean, simply think that person was doing job and everything, but suddenly quit and started becoming a writer because he got lot of opportunity, a lot of platform which has come to offer him those services on the platform and get per use. I come across one platform which is completely into influencing business. So if you have 30,000 followers, 40,000 followers become influencers just like that. So and now the guy is already writing so many things. So the alternative incomes are being created every day, every time, and more than the inventor himself, as we all know, when the technology or invention reaches to a person at a grassroots level, he makes use of it very differently. Probably inventor have not even thought about it, and that is what the makes the change at completely at root level. That how you use your product may be completely different. Consumer has changes everything from
Right.
that perspective. Yeah,
Yes, that definitely brings this proverb to mind that necessity is the mother of all inventions.
absolutely,
So, yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
So, Miss Claudia, would you like to further elaborate or add to that question?
Yes. Well, I think that at the grassroots level, there's a lot of potential of unlocking, and even in a country like mine, there's a lot of potential to be unlocked by offering opportunities for the development of innovation skills. I think innovation ecosystem should put a really important emphasis on the creation and um, of innovation thinking, uh, critical critical thinking, and problem solving are basic skills that should be part of any education curricula for this century. Even more over other technical or more specific knowledge. I think that is what, because it gives people the opportunity to to unlock their hidden talents and come up with ways of doing things that have never been tried before, and gives confidence. And I think we should really work at the personal development level. Sometimes in innovation strategies or innovation plans for countries, we focus on people learning to code, people learning business skills, people learning how to develop a product and business model. But before that, you should be really able to see the context, to understand the context, understand the problems, understand the needs, your needs. We should start seeing people as not only as users, but human-centered design, human-centered innovation is at the core of that. And I think when we empower people by creating these skills, and basically, I think problem solving, critical thinking, and then other technical skills, we really give we create a fertile environment for grassroots innovation to create an impact and to grow for what we call bottom-up innovation. We are in a, or at least that's my perception, that sometimes we think that we should solve problems for the people from either if you are an entrepreneur or founder or an organization or an international development agency. Sometimes we might feel that we need to help people, but really what we need to do is to strengthen this base and see what comes from that, from empowering people through knowledge and these basic skills. And I think we're doing that. These times make us think about the power of collective intelligence. And also, we should give, and speak on that, we should give people also the skills to work with information and understand how information gives you a more strong base to make decisions. And that information also go to authorities. And I think we are at a very interesting time to do things differently and at the grassroots level, empower that in order to all of us benefiting from that.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Claudia. And since we're almost towards the end of the session, this last round, I would like to ask each of you, how is your organization contributing towards the innovation ecosystem? So I would like to start with Ms. Reema. So how is FITT and the Transfer Office at New Delhi contributing towards the innovative ecosystem?
Thank you, Mishma. Hope I'm audible now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Innovation Technology Transfer Office. It is a new unit which is set up at Foundation for Innovation and Technology Transfer, FITT, with funding from National Biopharma Mission at BIREC. So the main motto of ITTO is to transform the way tech transfer is done in India and contribute to the innovative ecosystem in the country. We were established last year in March at FITT, serving as the IP and TT arm of IIT Delhi since 1992. And FITT has been pivotal in creating a conducive ecosystem at IIT Delhi and acting as an interface for industry. FITT manages a portfolio of 1,000 plus IP and is taking care of 3 incubators. It has been home to 125 startups, which contributes to the innovation ecosystem in the country. And while we assist startups by providing essential services to protect and manage their innovation, and also in scouting technologies of interest to them or licensing their technologies to other companies as well. And moreover, we are assisting them by informing them different kinds of funding agency as well. So this way, FITT and ITTO are contributing towards innovative ecosystem in the country. Thank you, Mishma.
Thank you, Ms. Reema. And next, I would like to ask Mr. Ashish to also answer a similar question. But in addition, sir, as a mentor, I would like to also ask you, what role does mentorship play in innovative ecosystem?
Sure. So I think so. The question for me is common because as a mentor card which I founded last year, contribute to innovative ecosystem in a way that we are mentoring students which are studying in college. Either they are into entrepreneurship cell, or they are part of the normal education system, industry focus system. Second is we have around 400 plus startup registered on our platform to take support from us in terms of when they are building the business from idea to execution. Third is the professional also we are contributing. Now coming to the mentorship part, our philosophy has been that why to learn by making mistakes when you can learn from somebody who has already crossed the path. And that's what it is. I'm saying people used to say that, okay, learn from mistakes but do not repeat them. I say that why even learn from mistakes? Let's take some experience from the person and then take it forward from there. Obviously there will be learning and there will be mistakes we will be doing. So the philosophy has been that way. And in doing that philosophy, if we talk about, we feel that everybody needs a mentor. I'm saying, and there is no age to it. Okay, for different stage of life, for different stage of your personal and professional goals which you are trying to achieve, you would need a different kind of people to help you or enroll you, and that's what mentor card is all about. We are contributing to the ecosystem by providing them the faster help, and so that they can innovate fast, they can build the businesses fast, and they can start giving the back to society or back to economy faster than in the earlier stage. I also feel that behind every successful entrepreneur we talk about, there has to be, or there is somebody who's a mentor behind him to helping out. And that's what mentor card per se has been doing. We are scaling our platform to larger numbers now, and ecosystem we are partnering like incubator, accelerator, entrepreneurship cells across college universities, across corporates we are tying up. So mentoring is now part of it. I'm saying we all are, but we all are doing today is also a mentoring. So that is how in that case what we think about, and that's the role we play.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, and continue to support the ecosystem. I know you're doing a great job at Mentacart as the founder. So, yeah, wishing you the best with that. And I know Miss Claudia already touched upon the Accelerator Program at the UNDP. Miss Claudia, would you like to add anything further to that?
Well, I just, as I said before, in the Accelerator Lab network is the largest learning network on sustainable development. And that is not just a line, it's a real network of knowledge transferring and sharing, and also unearthing grassroots innovation. What we do is through solutions mapping, exploration and collective intelligence and experimentation, to work around the ways we've been doing things for the last years, and come up with untested, unchained, innovative solutions that come from communities and go back to communities with through knowledge. So that is a really exciting task, and I'm really proud to be part of this. And actually, there are other two explorers from the Accelerator Lab participating in this forum. So I think we are really happy to share this and offer our collaboration and support for any of your initiatives. And you can look us up and contact us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ms. Claudia. So with that, I would like to sum up with this session, and I think picking up points from all our panelists, the key roles or the key factors is inclusion, diversity and getting together all the stakeholders and making them establish a very strong cross linkage such that they can contribute towards a stronger innovation ecosystem which will further enhance the economic development. So with that, on behalf of GCPIT, I would like to thank Mr. Ashish Kare, Ms. Reema, and Ms. Claudia for joining us today for this great and insightful panel discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mishma.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mishma, and thank you, everyone, for inviting us.
Thank you.
All the speakers. Thank you, Aparna ji. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
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 So audience, do stay with us and we're going to be back with another great discussion.